What if I told you there's a land where time moves slower, and every stone seems to whisper an ancient secret? A land kissed by two seas, bathed in sun and stories. Welcome to Puglia, Italy's best-kept treasure, at the very heel of the boot. This is not just a place you visit, it's a place you feel deep inside. In this video, we'll guide you through whitewashed villages, golden cliffs, and olive groves older than empires, with every stop more magical than the last. You'll wander through fairy tale houses, swim in water that glows turquoise, and maybe even fall in love with a breeze of you, a plate of orecchiette. Most tourists rush through, but you're here to linger. So take a breath, slow down. You're about to explore a side of Italy that's wild, warm, and soul-stirring. This is Puglia. Let's begin. Look at a map, and you'll see it. Puglia is the heel of Italy's boot, but don't let the shape fool you. This land has always walked its own path. Greeks, Romans, Normans, Arabs, they all passed through and left behind pieces of their soul. That's why every town here feels like a blend of stories, layers of time wrapped in sunshine and stone. Fields stretch forever under skies wide and still. Stone walls divide the land like ancient scars, while olive trees twist like dancers frozen mid-spin. And then there's the coast, endless and changing, golden sand in the south. Tall white cliffs in the north, tiny coves where the sea feels like glass. You won't find Venice glamour here, or Rome's rush. But if you listen closely, you'll hear something else. The sound of wind in the trees, the echo of footsteps on old cobbles. The silence of something sacred. This is the real beginning of our journey. The heel of the boot and the heart of the story. Imagine waking up in a house with a pointed stone roof, like something out of a fairy tale. That's Alberobello, a town unlike any other, filled with white stone huts called Trulli. No one really knows how these strange homes began. Some say they were built this way to avoid taxes. Others say it was just tradition. But standing here surrounded by them, you won't care about the reason. You'll feel like a child again, wandering a village from some forgotten dream. Some Trulli are tiny. Others hide little shops or family kitchens where pasta hangs to dry. There's no straight street here. Just curves and corners and quiet steps. Climb up a hill and look around. Hundreds of conical roofs rise like mushrooms under the sun. The whole town feels soft, like it was built for peace, not speed. You can sleep in a Trullo eat inside won't even light a fire under its thick stone walls. At night, they glow with a quiet kind of magic. No lights flashing, no noise, just stars and silence. Alberobello reminds us that the strange can also be beautiful. That the old ways, even the odd ones, still hold wonder. Perched on a hill above the olive plains, Ostuni gleams like a pearl in the sun. They call it La Città Bianca, the White City. And when you see it, you'll understand why. Every house, every wall, every step is painted white. Not cream, not beige, white like moonlight. They say it was to fight off heat, or maybe to keep away the plague. But today it just feels holy. Walk through its winding streets, where cats nap on windowsills and balconies bloom with bougainvillea. You lose the map quickly, and that's the point. Let yourself get lost in this quiet maze, where every turn leads to another white curve, another blue door, another glimpse of sky. The views from the top are endless, olive groves stretching to the sea. Inside, tiny churches wait in silence, some carved straight into the stone. At sunset, the walls turn gold, then pink, then silver. It's like watching the city breathe with the sky. Ostuni isn't loud. It whispers. And if you're still enough, it will whisper to you too. Here the cliffs don't just meet the sea, they dive into it. Polignano, a mare, is a town carved from rock, perched above the Adriatic like a secret waiting to be found. White buildings cling to the cliffs, their balconies hovering over waves. Down below, a tiny beach hides between two cliffs, where the water is so clear you can see the stones smile. But the real magic is in the sound. Waves crashing under stone, wind whistling through caves. The soft echo of footsteps on limestone paths. Wander the old town, Arches Alley's poetry painted on the walls. Every corner offers a new view, a new breath, a new feeling. And if you're lucky, you'll hear someone singing. Because Polignano is also the birthplace of Domenico Modugno, the voice behind Volare. You'll find a statue of him here, arms open wide to the sea. Just like the town itself, open wild, impossible not to love. Bari is a city of two hearts. One beats fast, with scooters, shops, and students rushing by. But the other, the older one, beats slow. Enter Bari Vecchia, the old town, and you'll feel it. Narrow alleys snake between stone houses, clotheslines flutter above, and grandmothers roll pasta at doorsteps like they've done for generations. The air smells like garlic and bread, and sometimes the sea. Visit the Basilica of San Nicola, home to the bones of St. Nicholas. Yes, the one who became Santa Claus. Inside it's quiet, cool, timeless. Walk further, and you'll find small piazzas, ancient churches, and corners that haven't changed in centuries. But Bari isn't stuck in the past. It dances between old and new, tradition and movement, shadow and sun. Stay a while. Sit on the stones. Watch the world pass. You'll feel it then, the old soul of Bari, whispering through the breeze. Most of Puglia is sun and stone, but the Gargano is something else entirely. A mountain in the sea, covered in forest so thick it breathes. This is the Foresta Umbra, the shady forest, and stepping into it feels like stepping into another world. Beech trees rise like columns, ferns curl from the ground, light filters through in golden beams. Silence here is different, full of rustles, bird calls, and ancient whispers. Wander long enough, and you might spot deer, foxes, maybe even a wild cat. The air smells of earth and leaves and freedom. Outside the forest, the land drops to sea again. Beaches appear like secrets, hidden between cliffs. Villages like Monte Sant'Angelo perch above the clouds, where saints are said to have appeared in caves. The Gargano isn't on many maps. But once you walk here, it stays with you. At the edge of the sea stands a giant white rock, tall, silent, alone. Locals call it Pizzomunno, and they tell a story that breaks your heart. Long ago, a fisherman named Pizzomunno loved a girl named Cristalda. They were young, happy, in love. But sea sirens wanted him, and when he refused, they took her away forever. Pizzomunno cried by the sea and turned to stone, waiting for her return. Every 100 years, they say, she comes back for one night. Vieste lives in that legend. A town of white houses, narrow lanes, and the smell of salt. It clings to the cliff like a memory, always looking out to sea. The beaches here are golden, the sunsets are endless, but it's the story that stays. Because in Puglia, even the rocks know how to love. If Rome is grand and Florence is refined, then Lecce is a daydream carved in stone. They call it the Florence of the South, but Lecce doesn't copy anyone. It creates its own magic, with buildings that look like they were made of sunlight and lace. Walk the streets and you'll see it. Creamy sandstone facades filled with angels, flowers, monsters, and saints. The style is called Barocco Leccese, kind of southern Baroque, but it feels more like storytelling in stone. Every church here looks alive. Every balcony curves with elegance, like someone was sculpting a love letter. Even the doors are art, carved with swirls and faces that seem ready to speak. At the heart of it all is Piazza del Duomo, peaceful and grand at the same time. And not far you'll find a Roman amphitheater, right in the middle of the city. Lecce is full of layers, ancient, sacred, and stylish. You'll find workshops where artisans still shape papier-mâché, and bars that serve coffee with almond milk and ice. At night, the stones glow gold, and the streets fill with music and voices. Lecce doesn't rush, it invites. And when you leave, part of you stays in the curves of its walls. Some places whisper, others sparkle. Salento is the southern tip of Puglia, where two seas meet, and the coastline turns into a painter's dream. Here, the water isn't just blue, it's silver-green turquoise, changing with every hour of the day. One side touches the Adriatic, where cliffs rise and waves crash wild. The other side is the Ionian, calm, golden, soft like silk on skin. You'll find beaches that stretch wide and shallow, perfect for long, slow swims. Tiny coves with water so clear, you can count every pebble below. Fishermen's boats float gently, rocking in silence, and sometimes dolphins dance near the shore. There's Porto Salvaggio, a nature reserve where pine trees hug the cliffs, and the sea feels like a secret lagoon. And Torre dell'Orso, where two giant sea stacks called the Two Sisters rise from the waves, watching the horizon like guardians of a forgotten tale. This is the kind of coast that makes you believe in mermaids, in stories carried by salt and wind. Lie back on warm sand, close your eyes, and you'll hear it. The pulse of the sea and the heartbeat of Salento. Otranto looks like a postcard, but feels like a memory. White buildings, blue sea stone walls that once held off pirates and armies. But look closer, and you'll find a story both beautiful and haunting. Walk into the cathedral, a wide, quiet space that seems to glow from within. The floor is covered in a giant mosaic, built by monks nearly 1,000 years ago. It shows strange beasts, kings' stories from east and west, all woven together under your feet. But deeper still behind the altar lies something even more powerful. A small chapel where the bones of 800 men are stacked high behind glass. They were killed in 1480, when Otranto was invaded, and they refused to give up their faith. Now their skulls watch silently, a reminder that beauty and sorrow often live side by side. Outside, the sea glitters, boats drift by, children laugh on the beach. Otranto doesn't just tell you a story, it holds it in every wall, every wave, every quiet step. And if you listen, it will stay with you long after you leave. This is the end of the road, and the beginning of something else. Santa Maria di Leuca sits at the very tip of Italy's heel, where the Ionian and Adriatic seas touch. They say you can see the line, two colors meeting then blending into one. The town itself is small, quiet, white villas, palm trees, long views. But it has always been a place of crossing. Romans passed through here. Pilgrims came to pray at the sanctuary by the sea. Even now, people come to watch the sun rise from one sea and set into the other. There's a lighthouse that watches over it all, tall and calm above the cliffs. And down below, grottos hide in the rocks, filled with clear water and silence. Some believe the name Luca comes from the Greek for white light. Stand here at dawn, and you'll understand why. The light here isn't just bright, it feels holy. This is where the land exhales and the sea takes over. A perfect goodbye, or maybe a perfect beginning. Taranto is a city split in two, not just by bridges, but by water, by history, by soul. It sits between two seas, the Mar Grande and the Mar Piccolo, and they shape everything here. You'll find a castle by the shore, built by the Aragonese still standing guard. Old streets that smell like salt and iron, where fishermen mend their nets and old women sell herbs in quiet corners. But Taranto is not a place of postcards. It's a place of contrast. There's industry and beauty, chaos and calm, ancient ruins beside steel. It's raw and real, the kind of city that shows you its wounds and its pride all at once. Dive into its waters, and you'll find seahorses, yes, real ones, floating gently among underwater grass. The sea here is sacred, strange, full of life. Taranto reminds you that even broken places can be beautiful. That even between two seas, you can find your balance. Before the beaches, before the churches, there were olive trees. Puglia has millions of them, more than people, and some have stood here for over 1,000 years. Their trunks twist and curl like dancers, wide, gnarled, full of time. They grow in red soil under wide skies, silent witnesses to centuries of sun and storm. All across the countryside you'll find masserie, ancient farmhouses built from stone now turned into dreamy places to stay. Some are simple, others are elegant, all feel timeless. You wake to birdsong and fresh bread. You walk among trees that feel like living sculptures, and the olive oil, it's not just food. It's gold, liquid sun, the taste of the land. Here the rhythm is slow. Meals stretch for hours and conversations last even longer. You begin to understand that in Puglia roots matter. Not just the ones in the ground, but the ones in people's hearts. This land doesn't rush, it grows. And if you stay long enough, it grows on you too. So, what stays with you? The cliffs? The churches? The taste of fresh olive oil? Maybe it's a view at sunset. Maybe it's the silence of a forest. Or the voice of a town that's older than memory. Puglia is not made to be rushed. It's made to be felt, to be walked, to be remembered slowly. Every stone, every sea breeze, every crooked alley, It all adds up to something quiet and true. So wherever you are now, take a deep breath. Close your eyes. And let the soul of Puglia stay with you just a little longer. Because some journeys never really end.